Even though I do have a lot of episodes lined up, I do want to talk about this film in particular though, precisely because it's Pride Month, and I am a citizen of that community, so it would feel wrong not to. Happy Pride to you and yours, and we will be discussing bottoms. Bottoms up. Top versus bottom. Joking. But yeah, bottoms. Small stories time, right? I remember I went on a, I want to say date to see this film. And it's funny because seeing it on my own was better at home. But anyways, moving on. It was really a great film. I think this is the funniest thing. And of course, I'm somebody who, I don't know, an avid goer of, first of all, sapphic cinema. Shout out to sapphic cinema and Abby and the people at Theatership, period. So I go there. So it's like my knowledge of sapphic films are like, do you know what I mean? They are widened. They are knowledgeable, basically. I wouldn't call myself an expert or whatever, but I do have my own sapphic, what's it called? I do have my own sapphic cinema list. So on Letterboxd. So that means, do you know what I mean? I have an extensive collection. But it's crazy because I do feel like Bottoms is my favorite one that I've seen as of late. Of course, I love also, but I'm a cheerleader is in my top 4, and also, and also, oh yeah, and also The Handmaiden as well. I think those two, in particular, would be the ones that are basically mainly very memorable for me. But of course, I also have other films that I would say are very, what's the word, underground. And I know that the whole sometimes discourse of what's it called, of sapphic films is about the fact that a lot of them are made under the, what's it called, under the lens for male gaze. A lot of them are for that audience. But the thing of the matter is that I know, this is what I mean. I also agree with that. But then I also believe to myself, as a person who's from the community, it's like, I don't know. Maybe is it bad for me to be like, oh, maybe I'm easily impressed? I believe that I'm easily impressed about cinema in general. Honestly speaking, that's what I've always said whenever I've done any of these episodes, is that the way I rate, right, it's just it's so, I think people have said to me I'm really gracious when it comes to rating, and honestly, it's true, because I'm not really fussy when it comes to films, or picky. You could probably put a film on for me, it doesn't matter what it is, I'll actually watch it. So that's the main thing. And I guess for me, that's why it's oh, when there are those scenes, it's yeah, you think to yourself, because the fact of the matter is, even I guess on the subject of that whole discourse, I'm sure that The Handmaiden was made The Handmaiden was made by a it was made by a male director, Park Chan-wook. I mean, he's very, do you know what I mean? This is what I mean. I'm like, Park Chan-wook is not a bad director. I actually really like his works. But as obviously, it's when male directors do, sapphic films, you just kind of give them the side eye. I think it's a side eye thing when, you hear men being gynecologists. It's that same thing, because it's why is it that you want to have a profession where you're touching women's ladies parts? Tell me if that makes sense, if you get what I mean, because obviously I just think, yes, that's very weird. But let's even check with Bottoms, which is the topic of our conversation today, right? Bottoms is directed by Emma Seligman, right? And do you see what I mean? She's a woman, and rightly so. So, except hold on a second. Okay, fine. See, I also wanted to check her pronouns because I don't like misgendering anybody. So, yeah, she obviously uses she, her, and they, them. But, and exactly, Emma has done obviously both Bottoms and Shiva Baby. So this is the thing, you know, she is female for one, and two, you know, you could say that's pretty much her genre, or the thing where it's like, yes, it has her touch on it, basically. It would be interesting. Hold on, let me also look at her other works, which I don't really know. But yeah. So okay, so it's only basically those two. It's only been Shiva and Bottom so far. I guess she's great, and I hope that we see more of her. But obviously, Bottoms was an amazing film, and we're gonna dive into that in a few moments. I want to start off by saying that, have you guys seen, and I'm sure you probably have, if your TikTok is probably of the same kind of, I don't know, algorithm, except actually let's not even talk about the algorithm, actually, because yuck. But like, if you have the same kind of taste, then maybe you see bottom edits. Is that obviously there's always been the Party on You, Charlie XX one. That's the main one that I've seen, and that fits so perfectly with this film, obviously, for obvious reasons. Obviously, it fits this film because obviously, Iowa Debris' character creates the club mainly for the popular girl who is played by oh my gosh, wait, what's her name? Wait a second. Sorry, I'm not spelling correctly. Okay, yeah, so obviously for Isabel, so, and then Havana Rose Lou's character, right? So she obviously creates the fight club for her, yeah, and that's why Party on You is perfect, fitting for that, so fitting for that. It's so crazy because, you know, Bottoms feels is a film that doesn't even feel like it's been made like of this. That's how good it is. I feel like, for instance, it's a film that doesn't feel like it's been made of this era, like of this century. Do you get it? Like, it has that kind of great 2000 feel to it, which is why you'd feel like, oh, it was in that time, but no, it's of our time, 2023. That's crazy. And I just love everything about it. I love yeah, I love Josie, obviously played by Debris. I love Rachel Sano played by PJ, and Ruby Cruz, Hazel. She said, "But why would you lie to me?" And the way she says that is so puppy, like, it's so puppy dog fight. I said, "Damn, why did you say it like that?" She's like, obviously, Hazel, we were lying. She's like, but why would you lie to me? Which is actually, you know, when Hazel says that, how she's so like me coded. I could see myself saying that, being like, yeah, but why did you lie to me? Like, and you know what I mean? And she's just so, and I just don't even know, like, I don't know. I think the whole premise of the movie is great. I mean, unpopular best friends PJ and Josie start a high school club to meet girls on his virginity. Like I said, I mean, but basically, Josie makes it for, like, I feel like both PJ and Josie both make it for the people that they have crushes on anyways, you know? Josie makes it because she wants to get in with Isabel, and PJ makes it because she wants to get in with Brittany. But then obviously no spoilers here, but hey, that doesn't go well. It's just like, wow. And I think even that scene in particular in the film is actually quite striking anyways, because it's like, I think it touches on the fact of the matter of that, like, you know, even though, you know, somebody who identifies as gay, it's not like, it's a thing where not everybody, I don't know, like, it's weird. Into Yourself is such a I don't know, you feel like everybody would be like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? I like girls too. Like, I don't know, like it's a general experience, like it's universal. I think that's what generally a lot of us do think that. You know, a lot of us, not even, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna speak for myself, but in a way of being like, oh, I can't believe that you are a straight person. Do you understand? And I think that's something that they also touch on this film anyways, because obviously, like, PJ was expecting, PJ was expecting Brittany to be of that way, and she wasn't. Like, and it's just like, I think that that's very interesting. Like, you know, the pipeline, which is a lot of which is the like sapphic experience of like falling for people who don't like you, or people you can't necessarily have. Or I guess, I don't know, the most famous one, which is falling for your best friend or something like that. You know, that's never happened to me. That's never happened to me. Like, you know, I said I pray for you guys. But like, I feel like that is the pipeline. Like, yeah, falling for the straight girl, making it sound like it's some kind of trope, but it really isn't. It actually is. We said it's not a trope, it's just basically it's just a general experience for the people who don't know. Do you know what I mean? As for the people listening who may not identify as that, people who may not know and they may not really understand it, but it does happen. It's just like, yeah, I guess if you are attracted to the opposite sex, it's not a thing that, like, you don't mean it to happen. It just kind of happens. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I will speak for myself, right? I usually just try to like switch off my brain when it comes to that, because I kind of want to register it as, like, I generally want it to register as, oh, like platonic and romantic. But I know that sometimes those two, like, things, they can blur lines. You know what I mean? They can become very mixed. That's why I think that whole subject is very like tricky and confusing. Like, that's why, do you get it? That's why friends fall in love. Like, it's not even like, it's weird. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not probably even a queer sapphic experience. It's generally a normal experience of friends falling for each other, because lines blur. They blur into one, and they start off platonic, but then they semi over into romantic, and everything's scary. Do you get it? Everything's scary, everything's weird. And you're posed with, what do you do then? You know? You're posed with that, and it's just like, yeah. You know what's funny though? I know it's weird because I'm like to myself, oh, of course PJ and Josie wouldn't have liked each other. But that would have been really cool though. I don't know why, but it would have been really cool. I just mean because of how close they were. It's like, you think to yourself that maybe they would have liked each other in some kind of way. I know that they didn't. But they also had a kind of they also had a very, like, I mean, just a complicated friendship. So that's why sometimes you think, oh, a complicated friendship. We're like, oh, there's got to be something hidden there somehow. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's an underlying thing here. Do you get it? Like, you know, because obviously in the movie they get upset with each other about like doing the club. And then they start fighting, and then it's like, or I don't know. I think it's because, right, they do get upset with each other because Josie's whole thing works out for her, but then it doesn't work out for PJ. And then it's a kind of a thing where, because it doesn't, like, it all comes crumbling down, basically. And I think, but this is what I mean. I would never want to do anything like that, because if you're going to be like that, then let's not, like, if you're going to be like that, let's not do this at all. Like, I think I do get, obviously, when I say that, I do get PJ to a certain degree, because if we're going to create something like that, we want everyone to eat. No, like, line included, like, yes, you get it, ironic. But yes, we do. we want everyone to succeed. That's basically what we said. That's basically the concept of what a business is. Right? Two people have to get what they both signed up for, and if you don't, then one of you guys, like, first of all, either the whole thing stops or one of you have to pull out. I don't know what, but it's not gonna work, because obviously everyone needs to get the happy ending. So that's what I mean. To a certain degree, I get her. And then that's why I'm also like, I know what I just said with, oh, imagine a world where PJ and Josie actually liked one another. But that wasn't what the story was really trying to entail. It was about the fact that, they also, obviously another factor was that they weren't seen as what's it called? They weren't seen as popular. So they wanted to try to climb the ranks no matter how they needed to. Like, they wanted to find some kind of way to do it. They were overlooked, and I don't know, that's what you do. Like, it's weird. I'm like, oh, that's what you do. But it is what you do. You are overlooked by your peers. So you decide to do something extraordinary and out there that, you wouldn't really necessarily do. Which I guess is why they create that whole, yes, they create that whole Juvie storyline to obviously make themselves look better. Not that they needed to do that, because honestly, that's what I think to myself. In the nice moments of when they're all surrounded by each other and they're in a circle and they're all talking, what's it called? Yeah, so they're all talking and they're all sitting there sharing their stories. It's like, honestly, you think to yourself, they obviously didn't need to create that story. That's the thing. I mean, this is what you always think with movies. I know that it makes for a better plot, but you just think to yourself, obviously it wasn't necessary, because they could have done a club like that. The club was needed, obviously. Basically, the club was needed. They needed the club, because obviously a club where a club where women are learning self-defense is obviously always necessary. But then obviously what I'm saying is, and obviously I hate to be that person, that's what I mean. That's why when me and my friend were doing my previous episode, it's like trying to put wokeism in cinema, and it's not always the best, but it's just a thought, because you're just like, oh, if they didn't do this, then that would have made for an easier thing involved. And it's like, okay, but then I don't know. You think to yourself, because obviously what I'm even just mentioning, it's the main climax. If you remove it, then the story won't flow as good, but it will still be decent, but it needs its peak, basically. And I know that we all know the concepts of a good story. You know what I mean? We learn it at school. It's not anything crazy. It's obvious. You need the hook. But all I'm saying is, I just obviously thought the oh yeah, we learned it in Juvie thing was just it was just not necessarily, because they could have shared their experiences as women, in general, without all of that. Do you know what I mean? They could have still done the club, blah 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 blah, and then stuff like that. Because then I don't know, actually, maybe it might not have worked, because they were saying, oh, we want to do this club to show the stuff that we learned in Juvie, and then that's what their basically whole pull was. But then I feel and I think that's probably why all the other girls are on board, because they were like, fine, it's two girls from Juvie, that means they have experience, they have expertise, so they know what to do. But then I just feel like they could have done the club without being like, oh yeah, we're from Juvie. They could have been like, yeah, let's do the club, just whatever, let's do it, because obviously we need it. And I don't know, because I think maybe what they want to say to us as the message is that no one's going to come to their club without that pull, because they're too, I don't know, they're two weirdos. But then the fact of the matter is that I don't know. This is what I mean. This is why I keep going back to the juvie thing. I don't think that it would have made a difference, because the people in their group were like people on the same level as them. Do you know what I mean? It weren't people who were just out there. I guess, no, the only people I guess who was in that group who wouldn't normally have been in it was Isabel and Brittany. But everybody else was, still like, yeah, would be classed as outcasts. So it's like, obviously you necessarily wouldn't need to lure them in with anything. They would literally come voluntarily. But obviously, I guess, what's it called? I guess that, like, with Isabel and Brittany, that's why they needed that, what's it called? They needed that, I don't know, trap, so to speak. I would like to do this, but I want to, like, obviously get on to the review segment. What was this? Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Never mind. I think I forgot to, so you guys don't care. Sorry. I forgot to, put Ponyo here the other day when I watched it in my letterbox. Awkward. Because, sorry, I was going to read the reviews from bottom, so hold on a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, we are now back after a short break. Kidding. But no, this is what I'm talking about. It's so weird. I think it's funny because my letterbox app was open. And then I think that's the craziest thing. I went on there and I generally forgot to log that film. This is why, like, Letterboxd is so hard. And I know people talk about the fact that, like, it was like, hold on a moment, I'm going to go back to bottoms. But, like, they talk about the fact that, like, people are always like, oh, like, no one really wants to, like, watch films. They want to just use it to log films. But it's like, Letterboxd is important. And I just mean in the time, like, for me, it's important for me, like, in terms of, like, memory. Like, this is what I mean. And I'm just like, of course I know that I watched Ponyo the other day. I know that. But it's just like, I still need to log it. Just like, otherwise, I don't know. Like, I think that's why we give Letterboxd a lot of power in it. But like, if we haven't logged it, we basically didn't watch it. Like, I know that I watched it, but there's no date that tells me that I did. So then there's something wrong here. Anyways, on to the reviews. This is absolutely insane choice, not making Kai Gerber a woman kisser by Clara. Absolutely valid. No, like, exactly. And then trying really hard not to be mean to Booksmart, hate to pit two beautiful women against each other. That's from Carsten. He does a lot of movie related stuff. There's EIO's a Debris once. He said, I'm in it with my friends. So, oh gosh, they're so funny. This says, if you thought Barbie was the best whimsical satire about feminism and the harms of the patriarchy, featuring music from Charli XCX with a massive choreographic fight scene between warring factions, crafted specifically for lesbians, made in the year of our Lord 2023. Well, guess again. Exactly. This said, go lesbian humor, right? Music, amazing. Characters, concerning. 10/10 comfort movie. And this person gave it a 5. Exactly. Chuck felt seen when Io Debris shouted out all the dudes who love this movie in the commentary. Wait, what was my review? Oh yeah. I said in my review, women rule, and that's all. And then I said, you didn't have to start a whole Fight Club to date me. You could have just talked to me. But it's so interesting. Hold on, because actually, yes, this is my review. Because yes, like I said in the beginning, I have watched it twice. I obviously watched it on the 30th of November, or 30th, 3rd. bro. Sometimes I'm like, is English my first language? So the 1st of November 2023, and then I watched it. I rewatched it a year after that, on 23rd of April. So yeah. And I think that's why I used that review the second time, because I was like, that's the line that stood out to me the most. Because obviously it's true. I mean, yeah, I just mean, obviously it shows us that, like, yeah, people care more for, I don't know, what's the word? Authenticity? Like, or like just being present and like, yeah, not doing a big song and dance, but just literally being, what's it? Being on apologetically yourself, basically. That's what I mean. I think that's why that line stood out to me, because I was like, obviously Josie, like, literally that's what it means. It's like from the, like, the whole movie was not necessary because Josie could have got her from the get-go, actually. but then I get her. I literally get Josie. And I think when I first watched it the first time, I was very drawn to Josie as a character. Like, she's just like, what do they call it? A loser lesbian? Yeah. I think that is actually a term. But yeah, because I thought to myself, did I make it up? But I was like, no. But yeah, she's literally just a loser lesbian. And I'm like, that's me. Like, yes. And I'm like, honestly, it's like a lot of us, really. So it's like, that line stands out because it's literally like, it's so hard to, yeah, like, that's what I mean. The film shows that as well. It's so hard to literally just be gay and talk to women. And you're like, what? Like, honestly, anyone listening will be like, what? You're gay but you can't speak to women? How weird is that? But honestly, it's the truth. It's actually very, very, very difficult. Also, in recording this, like, while I've been recording this, I've actually been looking at I call it like my my mummy's shrine, but it's like, it's like my wall of women, and it's like, it needs to grow more. But like, basically, I'll take you guys through it, right? There's Billie Eilish. There's what's her name? She's from Blondie, the band Blondie. Hold on a moment. I think because I'm doing this episode, it feels right to talk about my my woman shrine. It literally feels right. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It feels like the perfect time. Blondie, but what's the woman? What's her name? Yeah, sorry, Debbie Harry. So Debbie Harry is second, and then you've got, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. In my shrine, yeah, you've got Debbie Harry there 3 times. Pretty valid. Then you come to the second row, right? And you've got Chapelle Rion, duh. You've got Courtney Love, yes. You've got Madison Beer, and you've got Madison Beer twice again. And then you also then have this one, yeah, this one here. A lot of people might not know this one here. It's making me sound like I'm making you guys make it sound to you guys like it's a song, but no, this is who's the person who's next to Madison Beer's picture is Sid from First One's Out, which is on Webtoon. If you don't know it now, you know. Basically, go to Webtoon, search it up. First One's Out. An episode of it hasn't been out for a very long time though. Just so you know. But I just want to let you know so that you know what I mean. But you can, like, you can catch up if anything. How nice of me, right? I recommended you something that you could go and read right now. And yeah, and you'll catch up, because actually I'll even look at it right now for you. It's got like, it has like loads of episodes, right? And it's nowhere near finished either. But I know that the person who's writing it, I think she also has she's also got another one as well. Like, but I think she's got another story, not on Webtoon, but on somewhere else, basically. So altogether, right, exactly. Altogether, there is 45 episodes. So as I said, perfect time for you to jump in now. the last episode as well was September 10th, 2024. So this is all I'm saying. You could actually jump in. But anyway, yeah, so Sid. But then she's another one in my women's shrine because basically she's a muscle mummy. So I said yes. Oh, I was also going to talk about Love Lies Bleeding, but I'm gonna just hold on there because we're still going through my shrine, right? And then one more, and then the last person, last but not least, though, is Anna Nicole Smith. And in the picture, she's serving Marilyn Monroe, right? That's what she's giving. And I said yes. So yeah, but I want my wall to be big. And you know what's crazy is that how is it that Debbie Ryan makes she makes a recurring appearance 3 times. Not once, but 3. We said not 1 time, but 3 times. And I think that says a lot. But do you know what it also says? It's because I guess because she's in a band. And that's what I'm saying. And also Courtney Loves. That's 2 women in the Women's Shrine who are both part of bands. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, we've actually like figured something out here. I've like read myself, but yeah, like, yeah. And I guess the pictures of Debbie Harry, yeah, she's like in like the first one in my shrine, she's basically really sweaty. So I'm like, yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I'm actually okay. I'm saying too much. But you probably have seen these pictures anyway. You probably have. So there we go. And Debbie Harry is very pretty. Like, honestly, she's very, very pretty. Obviously, also other areas, actually, before kind of the episode ends, actually. So I need to do that before it ends, actually. I want to wrap up, talk about other areas as well. I mean, I guess there's also Nicholas... what's his name? Nicholas Galatian. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Maybe I just said it maybe I've said it in a different way. But yeah, he's also in this, and he's one of the jocks. And he's a really great jock. And then this is what I mean. I kind of want to pick out the characters, who I liked, who necessarily weren't the main people, right? Because yes, we're lying to ourselves. The main ensemble was great. It was 10 out of 10. It was no crumbs. But let's also talk about the other people. Of course, I mentioned Hazel already because I love Hazel and I thought she was great. Ruby Cruz. So yeah, lovely. But then obviously who I was also going to say then was, so obviously Nicholas as the teen. But I don't even know that's how you say it. But anyways, whatever. I'm gonna swoop up in this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna swoop up in the pronunciation. Let's move on. Like obviously him because he was Jeff. He was Isabel's boyfriend, right? And what was it? You know, there's something I'm forgetting because actually I can't remember what happened in the movie actually when they go and they is it. Well, they obviously set fire on his car, but it was like they could have almost burnt his house down too. I was like, okay, this is a bit too much. And that was Hazel's idea. They went there to his car. I think that was basically for Isabel. And then it's like, yeah, they almost set him on fire. But anyway, and then obviously it's like he looks out the window and then his car is on fire, and that was a very good scene as well. And that's why I think that person mentioned in their review about the patriarchy and stuff like that. And that's basically what this film is. It's like, I don't know, like that's what I mean. It's a very, what do you call it, feminist forward film, right? We said, well, that's what we want anyways, you know, that's what we want, that's what we need. We said that's what we need in cinema. Give me feminist forward films. Give me I don't know, give us more of that. Like, you know, I even have what do I else have? I have a letterbox list of female rage films? Yeah, like female rage films, right? And I just think to myself, they don't ever want to really put women, they don't ever want to see a woman angry, like, except I know that's the theme, when you hear them talking about the patriarchy. They say women are angry, this, and that, and the third. And then, but I'm just like, they need to show it more. And like, even Bottoms obviously is positive, is a positive display of that, because it's women learning self-defense in order to protect themselves, which is obviously what we need. But that's what I'm saying. You guys get the idea. Feminist forward films need to be here, and they need to stay as well, because obviously Bottoms can go back to, like, I think when you search Bottoms, obviously it comes up with, like, I think who else has come up with, it comes up with Booksmart, like obviously that person reviewed it and said, and But I'm a Cheerleader, and Lady Bird, and Love, Simon, and Theatre Camp, and Crush, and obviously Bodies. But I feel like what you can, like, link Bottoms to, like, going back, is something like, I don't know, Debs. Obviously, yeah, Debs, but I don't know, I think it's pronounced Debs, actually. So, yeah, you have that film, and then you obviously also have Charlie's Angels, of course. So, it goes back to those films. The idea of, women being at the what do you call it? Yeah, women being the ones who are out there doing the fighting, because they want to have all these characters, like these male characters that take up space in that whole world. Do you get it? They want to have Batman, and they want to have, I don't know, they want to have Batman, Superman, I don't know, man, but like just all these characters, right? They don't want to have enough, like, I don't know. I think that you have more representation of that now, because then you could even say with Thunderbolts coming out, they do have a lot of stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They are doing that more. And I think that's great. But I would say the only people, that's what I mean, the people who is Marvel. Nobody else is doing it. And that's weird. Okay? So, yeah, that's strange. And it needs looking at, basically. But yeah, I mean, I was talking about my female rage list. But yeah, that list is great, but there's not even a lot of films on there. Like, let me even look at it now. There's not even a lot of films in that list at all. Like, there's only a few. And that's what I'm trying to say. There needs to be more. Like, we actually need more of them. And when are we going to get that? Only like 10 films in my female rage collection, right? And I need more of them though. And I mean, actually, if you guys even have any that you can think of, put it in the comments. That would be great. I need some more, because 10 films feels too small. But that's my main point though, right? They don't ever really just, and I think that's what Bottom even shows, like blowing up cars. Like, yes, give that back. And I mean, like, even also, I think I was watching a YouTube video about Angela Bassett. Remember, she is also the epitome, like, I mean, the idea of, a woman with, what's it called? With power and with strength. And then you also think of, like, Viola Davis as well. Not that Viola Davis is in this, which she probably should be. That's one that I forgot. I think, what's that Viola Davis film called again? So I'm not forgetting. And I know you guys know the one I'm probably thinking of right now, but I just can't think of it right now. But it's when she's in the film. Yeah, see, I thought it was Fences. So she's in that film with Denzel, and yeah, that's Fences. So hold on, I'm just gonna add that to my collection as well though. I love how in my description for this list, right, I think I'll put it in the description, right, but it says, what drives a woman to the point of insanity? A man. Also mental illness though, because exactly that's what these films have in common anyways. Because so in this list, right, you have Don't Worry Darling, you have Promising Young Woman, you have Gone Girl, you have Ferrari, Passengers, yeah, The Five Devils, you have Smile, you've got Possession, of course, Hidden Figures, Mother's Instinct, and Fences. Mother's Instinct, fun fact, but it's a me fact though. Like, I when I first started on Substack, that was the first ever piece I'd ever written, and that is so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me because honestly, that's the first film I chose to write about in detail or as a review. It was such a great review as well. Like, I don't want to say too much about that, but it was such a good review, basically. That's obviously, I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, so I liked the male characters in this film as well, honestly, is what I'm trying to say. Back to Bottoms. It's just like, yeah, you would think, obviously, you want the female characters to take up the space, rightly so, in a film like Bottoms, I mean. But then the male characters are always good, also good in this. Like, I really liked the coach guy. He was really, really funny. Like, he made me laugh so much. And you need that. And that's what I mean. Like, Bottoms has a great balance. Do you know what I mean? It's giving you real, but it's giving you comedy at the side also. These things, every time I record one of these, I always sometimes think that I'm forgetting something. But I'm also not. But anyways, so I now want to touch on, like, last but least, right? I'm gonna touch on Love Lies Bleeding, just a tiny bit, but obviously, like I said before, when I was talking about sapphic films, and I was talking about how I would say that Bottoms is my most, like, recent favorite, like, do you know what I mean? Or maybe it has become one of my favorites, and I guess I did say The Handmaiden as well, and that's on my wall. But then obviously that's why I'm saying so I'm saying Love Lies Bleeding is on my wall too. Even though when I've spoke about Love Lies Bleeding, I was like, I like it, but I'm also like, I don't know, like, Love Lies Bleeding is one of those ones, and it's like, it doesn't even feel like, I don't know, like, do you guys even feel like Love Lies Bleeding is a film that was made under the male gaze, even though obviously, yeah, it was directed by Rose Glass, so obviously no, but like, it's just like, that's what I mean, obviously no, because this is a this is a female director, but so, like, but it's just like, I don't think there's anything wrong with Love Lies Bleeding. I think it was very good. Like, and I guess obviously linking back to obviously that's what I was thinking of, like, when I was talking about Sid. I was like, Sid and then Love Lies Bleeding, like, Kristen Stewart basically just plays a muscle mummy. I mean, obviously in Love Lies Bleeding, who is it? It's Jackie? Yeah, Jackie is more of the muscle mummy than Kristen Stewart's character Lou, but hey, we're not gonna get into that because she's actually the one who's obviously doing the whole, what do you call it? Bodybuilding. Like, I was like, what do you call it? I was gonna say wrestling, but that's what I mean. I always get those kinds of things modeled up. I know that for both of them, you have to be specific weights, so I think that's why it kind of, for me, I'm just like, I think bodybuilding and then I think wrestling, and they just go together. Not that, like, this is what I mean. Not that Jackie in Love Lies Bleeding was fighting. Like, not that she was doing wrestling. She was doing bodybuilding. Like, it's different. They're two different things. But yeah, so that's what I mean. They were both virtual muscle mummies, and that film was great. Yeah, it was real good. Interesting. Something I just thought of because I was looking at my wall again. Like, honestly, my wall shrine is so big, guys. You don't understand. But like, I was also thinking about Poor Things, because Poor Things also does have that kind of theme. It does have that theme because obviously in Poor Things we know that, like, Bella Baxter just wanted to learn about life. She had the brain of an infant, so she obviously just wanted to try out everything, basically. So that's why she started out being with Mark Ruffalo's character, but then she ended up being a prostitute, and then she meets that woman in the, I don't know, in the business. I'm like, in the business, in the industry. But yeah, so she meets her there as well. And then it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like she basically dates her anyways, and then they kind of are together at the end afterwards, I feel like, as well. Um, so it's interesting. I don't know if that would be added in there. I'm also actually let me also just like I'm just gonna end this in a little bit. Let me also talk about my oh yes, my lesbian flicks um collection, which I'm also gonna put into the description as well. I mean, I was gonna say obviously, but it's not obvious. But I just mean I've only watched like 14 out of 34 of this whole entire list. Which is okay, I suppose. I should be watching more. I think, okay, if I was to also say another film in this is, I mean, in the lineup, because I was saying, I said what? Bottoms, Handmaid, and Love Lies Bleeding. Then obviously I'd also include Bound as well. Because obviously, yeah, we just said, yeah, for obvious reasons. Well, like, Bound is very good. And I think I remember I gave Bound I gave Bound a 4.5. You know, as soon as when you look at back on your ratings, you're like, oh, what was that about? I'm doing like, I don't remember. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what my review was. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Oh, okay. Now I remember. I had to go to my review and to remember. I think my review on Bound said, okay, to dash a bit of positivity in there. I want to say, I want Juna Justin immediately after this film. Exactly. Corky. But I have to say this, Hollywood, please stop centering men in lesbian flicks. Thank you and good day. No, exactly. That is a message. Oh my gosh. That's a message or a billboard that I would put like everywhere. I would put that on a huge billboard. I would mail that to loads of directors. I'd be like, anyone for you to do it next, to make one, don't do it again. Like, honestly, it's crazy. And that's what I mean. And each of obviously, I guess, yes, all of the ones I've just mentioned, actually, they all have that in common. Every one of those films includes a man. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. And because even when I think about how there's some films, yes, that people don't like. I don't know if people really don't like Room and Rome. That's basically one of my favorites, but I feel like it's quite a one that people don't really talk about because they don't know it. But then I'd say that Room and Rome is my favorite because Room and Rome doesn't basically have any males, or then I feel like it also does a tiny bit. I would need a rewatch, honestly, guys. I would need a rewatch, but then I do feel like Room and Rome just does have a lot of I don't know. It's a lot of scenes where it's just the two women together and it's like they're enjoying their company, enjoying their time. And I feel like that's so very intimate, right? But honestly, I need to remember and I would need to watch it again to really say for sure. So yeah. But it's just like it's even, I guess, if we go back to Bottoms, because that's our subject of conversation. But if we go back to that, then it's like, obviously, yeah, you've got Nicholas's character who's Jeff, and then he's basically, he was in the way, right? And it's just like, that's always the case, right? They always just want to have some man in there taking up space, taking up room. And I don't know why they do it. I don't know if they think it makes the movie better. It doesn't, by the way. And I think that was why my review on Bound was that. I don't think I would have done that otherwise. I'm not a 4.5er. I don't do that. I don't do that. It's not in me. Like, I don't know if you guys believe me, but generally I don't rate movies like that. I don't do it. I think I may have mentioned it before, actually, is that I rate movies really, like, Yeah, really graciously, really kindly. It's always five in this place. It's five every day, 24/7. Do you know what I mean? No half stars here. And for me, half stars, like, they're really weird. Like, not even. Oh yeah, I'm not saying anything to the half stars people. No shade, no shade. But I just don't do it because it makes me feel really weird. Because it's like, what does the half mean? Like, what does it stand for? And it's like, yes, this is what I mean. I think that's why I rated it like that on that occasion, because I was like, it would have been a five. It would have been a five without that. But then you can obviously say with Bound, actually, anyways, that is a lot of their plot time. Like, honestly, that film, there is a lot of I don't know, like, we want to call it male screen time. Like, that's the term. But yes, they're in quite a lot. And I would think if I was to relate a film with Bound, it would be generally, yes, it would be Love Lies Bleeding, actually. And it's not even like, and that's probably a weird thing to say because, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, they're not similar. The storylines are not, they couldn't be, they couldn't be more further apart. Like, hello, no, there's no bodybuilding in Bound. But, like, what I'm trying to say is that both Bound and Love Lies Bleeding both have that whole, like, what was it? Yeah, they both have that strong male element in there. Like, I swear, remember, Kristen Stewart's character Lou is supposed to be like, I don't know, whatever she's doing, but they make her dad like the villain in that film, and then you kind of have Bound. You've got what's it called? Yes, you've got Violet, who's seeing this what do you call? She's seeing this, this mobster guy called Caesar. So that's why, like, Corky and Violet's relationship's more like, it's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde type thing, because obviously Corky saves her of somewhat. She saves her out from the place where she was living. You see, on Letterboxd it says, for money, for murder, for each other. I said, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. And it's just like, yeah, for me, I'm bored and tired of those. I am. And even actually another one of my favorites of mine, which I obviously will say, and I think I might wrap up there, but is Saving Face. Saving Face is another one that also, again, has a male element. Not very strong, though, mind. Because obviously, that's what I was saying to you guys, and just in the last bit, I was saying some of these films have a strong male element, and some of them basically have just a tidbit. Just a tiny bit. A small bit. Very minor. But still there. Still alive. But, like, I think with Saving Face, it has only a little bit, because she has that guy. Yeah, I think it's like, but then also actually with Saving Face, no, it's not too, that's why I said it's not too bad, because I swear the guy who was her friend, I thought he was gay, but, like, correct me if I'm wrong, like, but I thought that I'm gonna fact check that though quickly, but I thought that there was no way he was gonna be attracted to her, because yeah, but no, so she was never going to be, I said she was never going to be with him, but I think that obviously her mother wanted her to be. Sorry, I just wanted to fact check it, but yes, I was right. The guy, one of the guys, the character Will, a young surgeon in the film, is revealed to be gay, although he's not publicly come out to his family. So exactly, they didn't know, but that's not who, yeah, they wanted him to be with, obviously her mom wanted her to be with a man, and she was never going to, and then he wasn't the one. Hey, sorry. Sometimes I lose that train of thought. Honestly, people know I have ADHD, right? So what I was saying is that Yeah, so it's back to my point of how males are always in these films, and that's what I was saying. Like Seven Face is one of my favorites, but it's the fact of the matter is that they still had that guy involved. He wasn't a major factor, you know what I mean? He wasn't trying to like, yeah, break up the female characters because I'm telling you, that's what they put the male character in there for. But he wasn't doing that. But you know what I mean? He was still there. Like, you know what I mean? But that's why I'm like to myself, I couldn't be too strict on that though. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't be that much and have that much of a strong gripe with it. But it is a thing that I do not like. I feel like on that note, like honestly, thank you actually for listening. And honestly, yet again, happy Pride.